Craig is going to talk about my first real job, which makes me wonder what was his first fake job. We'll talk about that later. So here's Craig.
So I think everyone has an experience that really changes the way that you think about things. This past week, while I was trying to figure out what to talk to you about tonight, I had the pleasure of listening to a speech by Tim. And Tim's speech was find your passion and find your speech. And so that really sunk home with me. I think that the important thing there was in your icebreaker speech, you want to talk about something that you're familiar with so that you can also practice your speaking skills. And so one of the primary passions I've had is sports and athletics. But rather than talk to you about athletics, I wanted to talk to you about one of the things that I did in order to make that possible. Coming out of high school, I was a good wrestler, but I wasn't quite to the level that I wanted to be at. My goal was to wrestle collegiately, but I wanted to have more time to practice, and so the first thing I did was decide to take a year off and get a job so that I could train and prepare myself for school. Of course, it probably wasn't the best idea that I got a job at Woolhan's Lumber Yard in Chicago, or in Rockford rather. Made me think of Chicago because the weather when I started was exactly like this. Each day when I start my day, it started early. I don't know how many of us are morning people. I'm definitely not. And that really hit home when I figured out that I'd have to wake up at 4 to be in the lumberyard at 5:15. Of course, it was right about that time that I also found the power of the snooze button. Right, I invented a lot of different ways to make the alarm clock more effective, and including setting the alarm clock across the room, so I'd wake up, I'd have to actually move to get started. The thing that was interesting about that is, and I think it's just like in Toastmasters, that to a certain extent we have to jump in head first into things in order to learn and grow. And so each day, even though I hated getting up that early, it was good because it put me in a position to do what I needed to do to train and succeed in sports. Once I got there, actually it was just a process of getting there. Just like today, the temperatures would typically be -30 to -40 below wind chill factor. Rockford, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's northern Illinois, and out in the open plains, so to speak. The wind would just kind of carry you through, and you'd have to actually get bundled up in order to go to work. So I'd have my snowmobile suit on, my long underwear, scarf, hat, and gloves, and just have to be prepared to make it through the day. By the time work would start at about 5:45 or 5:30, all the contractors would already be lined up. And so I didn't really know a whole lot about construction work, but I learned quickly. And the reason why I was able to learn is because I was able to rely on other people, people that had actually been there and done that and had some experience, so that I could learn from them. And I think that's kind of what we're doing here at Toastmasters too. This is a new experience for me, just like I'm sure it is for a lot of us, and it's helpful to be able to rely on everybody's advice and support to make it through and achieve our goals. As Tim, as you were talking, as you started out tonight's meeting with what are your plans and objectives, what do you want to actually get out of Toastmasters? Lastly, even though the day started a little bit too early for me, and I had to work through a lot of the cold weather that I hated. It actually put me in a position to be able to go to practice and go to the workout after work and be able to get the training that I needed to get in for the upcoming year. And so I really learned a few different things. One was you got to jump in head first sometimes in order to learn and to grow, even though sometimes it's really not comfortable. The second thing is you have to persevere. I wanted to talk about the job rather than my actual passion for sports. It was because it's not always easy. I know that's cliche, but you really do have to take the good with the bad, so to speak. And then you also have to rely on others to help. And so those are the three things that I learned from that job and hope to apply here. Thanks a lot for your listening.